Now I can tell I'm live. All right, welcome. Hi, how's it going today? Happy Wednesday. It's been one of those days here where I took a shower mid-afternoon. It sounds very luxurious, but actually it was a necessity. I had no choice, right? And it feels like, yeah, it just feels crazy sometimes. So I just want to say hi and sit here with you guys and talk a little bit about what it's going to take to get you promoted to that next level of leadership. Let's just have a chat. So, this is my weekly Q&A series called Your Promotability Factor, where I answer your most pressing questions about why you feel like you're not able to make it into that next level of leadership. So, today's question actually comes from Satya, who asks, um, so he asks, what does he need to do to change himself so that he can finally get his work recognized? And he has a little bit more context to this question, which I'll get into in just a minute. But at the very offset, I just want to say that it's basically like, yes, you do need to change because what got you here won't get you to that next level of leadership. So he talks a little bit in his question about how he used to have the mindset that you work hard and you get rewarded for it. And now that's not really working for him. So I'm going to show you exactly why and how what got you here won't get you to that next level of senior executive leadership. But who am I and why am I talking to you guys today? I am here because I am a promotion strategist and executive coach for corporate managers. My name is Stacey Mayer, and I am on a mission to get 1,000 underrepresented, amazing corporate leaders promoted into senior executive leadership positions each and every year worldwide. So if you are listening to my live today, then you might be my next success story in getting yourself promoted into that senior executive leadership position. Because let's face it, we need you at the top. We obviously need more diversity at the top, but more importantly, we need you specifically. And Satya, when you watch this video, I want you to be able to walk away with the tools that you can actually start to advocate for yourself so that we can get you into that senior executive position. So he asked this great question, and it makes sense. I get this question a lot because that's where people start to feel stuck, right? They get to a certain point in their careers, the first 20 years, where promotions just happen. They're able to move up the ladder pretty easily. A lot of really amazing individual contributors get plucked out of an IC role and put into a management position because they have great people skills, right? But they don't actually know the skills that are going to help them continue to rise up the corporate ladder. So I want to read the rest of his question because I think it's actually quite useful, and I'm going to unpack it here a little bit for you guys. If you have any questions as you're watching the broadcast, just let me know. Tell me in the chat. Also, if you ever want me to answer one of your questions on your promotability factor, shoot me an instant message because I would love to answer your specific questions next week. So here's his full question. I might call myself an introvert when it comes to showcasing my exemplary work. Moreover, my thought of school is I do great work and it's the leaders to get recognized, the leader's job to recognize and reward it. What do I need to do to change this and get myself and my work recognized? So the first thing that I want to note is that he said that I might call myself an introvert when it comes to let me use his words here. I might call myself an introvert when it comes to showcasing my exemplary work. So, being an introvert and showcasing your exemplary work are two opposite things. And the reason why I say this is because when you're in an individual contributor role, you have very little problem showcasing your exemplary work. What I mean by that is when you hit your deadlines, when you come up with really great ideas from an IC perspective, from a subject matter expertise perspective, it has nothing to do with being an introvert or extrovert, right? Usually those conversations are one-on-one. A lot of introverts find themselves in engineering type roles. Like this is a very common thing. So I want you, Satya, and everybody else listening to really ask yourself, is it because I'm introverted or is it because I just don't understand how to communicate to executive leaders leadership about the work that I'm doing when it doesn't have to do with my subject matter expertise. And usually the problem falls in the second category, which is I just don't have the communication skills to really sell myself and to advocate for myself from a leadership perspective, right? As opposed to a results perspective. So the first thing that I want you to start doing is to really understand, what does it mean to communicate about my exemplary work? And the first thing is that you aren't actually communicating how awesome you are. You're literally showcasing how awesome you are by speaking in a more strategic way. So, what I mean by that is you have ideas, you have really great ideas that you want to share on a higher level. But what we tend to do when we come from a individual contributor background is that we talk about all the details, and that becomes our exemplary work. Is I've thought out every little detail of this particular situation, and I just want to kind of talk about that, and that's going to show that I'm exemplary. What I want to do is show your ideas, right? So, what was your thought process when you were mapping out those details? Why did you choose to go this route? Why did you choose to do something in this way, right? So that is how you're going to begin to showcase your work. So when you're having one-on-ones with your boss, you're talking about your strategy behind it, the overall, like, what was my thought process when I went down this path? If you start speaking more in that broader way, that is going to showcase your exemplary work. The second part of your question, it talks about how when you were in school, you learned that it was your boss's job to reward you for your hard work, right? And in some ways that's true. Like, we can think about ourselves as we continue to move up the corporate ladder. I want you to think about how you want to be seen as a leader. So do you want to see people and showcase their exemplary work? So you're going to look for it and really point to what they're doing well, and reward them for that, right? So that's exactly what you're going to do. But now I also want you to put on your leadership hat and think about, okay, I have two positions open. I have a, lower level manager role, and I have this really great person that works really, really hard, has a lot of potential in leadership, but isn't quite there yet from a strategic perspective, doesn't speak for this idea that I talked about in step one, to their ideas, to their broader, so they just kind of do these check-ins and tell me about all the details of the work that they're doing. And so I'm going to keep that person in a management role. And then I have this other person that has been doing check-ins with me and having these really high-level conversations and speaking as an executive leader ahead of time, which is the process that I lead all of my clients through, is how to become the executive ahead of time. And I have this other leader that speaks in this more strategic way. So I have a position open up for a senior director position. Which one am I going to pull and put into that position? So, like, when all things are created equal, who am I actually going to put and help rise into that position? It's going to be the person that's already showcasing their leadership qualities, right? So it's not your boss's fault or even really their job to pluck you out and to really encourage you in this way. It's your job to do that, right? And the reason is because your boss's job is always on the line, right? Like, they don't know for sure if you're going to be able to succeed at a higher executive level position. So they're going to play it safe, right? So you have to show them ahead of time, by becoming the executive ahead of time, that you can operate at that higher level. So that's what you're going to do. And then the third thing I want to point out to you is just a tip for how to actually speak in this way. And so I talked a little bit about one-on-one meetings with your boss. And when you're talking about showcasing your exemplary work and you're going to keep it at a high level, I just want to give you a quick example of what that actually looks like. So that looks like you walking into your boss's office and actually saying to them, this is what I want to talk about today. This is what I would like to achieve today. And these are the challenges that I'm facing right now. And this is where I need your help today. So you say all three of those things at the top of the meeting. So you're basically laying the agenda out for them and saying, this is what the purpose of the meeting is. This is what I want the outcome to be. And these are the problems that I'm facing and what you can help me solve. That's it. So when you start speaking in that way, you can get a little bit in the details, but for the most part, you're basically showing that I can think and act as a higher level strategic thinker. So, yeah. So I hope that helps, Satya. Please let me know by posting a comment about what you try and how you're feeling about advocating for yourself now. If this is resonating with you and you're watching this video and you really want to learn these communication skills so that you can also become the executive ahead of time, I'd like to encourage you to sign up for our wait list. I'm actually opening another cohort of my group program in January of next year. We have a current group running now, and actually one of the executives, one of the leaders in the group, she actually said that she tried this approach with her manager, and her manager actually commented about how much she enjoyed the conversation. Like, she's like, wow, I really enjoyed this conversation with you today. Because that is what senior executive leaders are looking for. This is how their brain is thinking. And if you can start communicating them from their place, then you're gonna build trust, they're gonna respect you more, and they're gonna be more willing to advocate on your behalf. So get yourself out there, become the executive ahead of time. I put the link in the comments so you can sign up for the wait list, and you'll be the first to know when the new cohort opens up. I also offer special discounts and incentives to anybody who's on the wait list and already ready to go. So make sure you check that out. And otherwise, I will just see you again here next week for another edition of your Promotability Factor. Thanks. Take